Hey everyone, please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
A lot of people don't realize that the Archdevils that are listed in the game actually come from real-world occult sources, and I wanted to take a look at that today on Greyhawk Ragnar. So for this exercise, I'm going to take a look at the Archdevils that are in the Monster Manual and Monster Manual 2, and take a look at their real-world origins. And I've got a couple of sources here. The first is the Lesser Key of Solomon, the Goetia. This is the Aleister Crowley version. There are a bunch of versions out there. Also going to be taking a look at the Infernal Dictionary. This is the Dictionnaire Infernal. It was originally Colin de Plancy in French, and I think in the 18th century. And we've also got the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, which is an appendix to a witch hunting book in the late Renaissance by Johann Weyer. So I want to start off, and I might pull in one or two others if I need to. I'm going to start off with Asmodeus, the archdevil, the archfiend, the overlord of all the dukes of hell, with that wonderful tramp illustration that we saw in the Monster Manual. Now he and this goes true for most of them. Most of the devils that we're going to talk about don't really have the same roles or look the same or have the same attributes as they do in the sources, as they do in the game. So just be aware of that. But the first one we've got is Asmodee in the Lesser Key of Solomon. He's called Asmodee. And here is a picture of Asmodee with the three-headed, four-headed creature. The 32nd spirit is Asmodee or Asmodai. He is a great king, strong and powerful. He appeareth with 3 heads, whereof the first is like a bull, the second like a man, and the third like a ram. He hath also the tail of a serpent, and from his mouth issue flames of fire. His feet are webbed like those of a goose. He sitteth upon an infernal dragon, and beareth in his hand a lance with banner. He is first and choicest under the power of a Mayaman. He goeth before all other. When the exorcist has a mind to call him, let it be abroad, and let him stand on his feet at any time of action, yada, 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 yada. He is given, he giveth the ring of virtues, he teacheth the arts of arithmetic, astronomy, geometry, and all handicrafts absolutely. He giveth true and full answers unto thy demands, he maketh one invincible. He amongst the legions of Amayaman governeth 72 legions of spirits inferior. His seal is this which thou must wear as a lamen upon thy breast, etc. And this is the seal of Asmodee. Um, Obviously, not the same role in the game. Asmodeus is portrayed as being the leader of hell, whereas in the Lesser Key, he's just one of many demons, many devils, and that's another thing. They don't make the distinction between demons and devils in these sources. Um, where he's just one of many, a general of armies and so forth. And looking at the Dictionary of Angels by Gustav Davison, we learn that Asmodeus means creature of judgment. The name is derived from Ashmadeva. See Asmodee, Chamadei, Chamadei. Asmodeus is a Persian rather than a Jewish devil. However, incorporated into Jewish lore, he is regarded as an evil serpent. So that's, and also in the Book of Tobit, apparently, he slew the 7 bridegrooms of the young Sarah, and who, overcome by the angel Raphael, was finally banished to Upper Egypt. Which, yeah. In demonology, Asmodeus in hell is controller of all gaming houses. So we see that again. So, now turning to the Pseudomonarchia, we have Sidonai, alias Asmodee, a great king, strong and mighty. He is seen with 3 heads. The first, whereof the first is a bull, the second like a man, the third like a ram. He has a certain serpent's tail. So we see kind of the same thing. They're obviously either going from the same source or they're building on each other. He again is under the Amayaman, who we don't see in the game. Um, to all demands he answereth fully and truly. He maketh a man invisible. He showeth the places where treasure lieth, and guardeth it if it be among the legions of Amayaman. He hath under his power 72 legions. And finally, in the Infernal Dictionary, we have a much better copy of that picture. And here he is indeed called Asmodeus, destruction demon, the same as Samael from the Bible, according to some rabbis. He's a superintendent of gambling houses. He sows dissipation and error. The rabbis say he once dethroned Solomon, but that soon Solomon charged him with irons and forced him to help build the Temple of Jerusalem. Tobit, following the same rabbis, having driven him away with the smoke of the spleen of a fish from the body of the young Sarah he possessed, for Asmodeus loved Sarah. The angel Raphael was said to have imprisoned Asmodeus in the extremities of Egypt. Asmodee is, in the judgment of some, the ancient serpent that seduced Eve. The Jews who called him Asmodai, which is the name that we had in the other two, made him the prince of demons, as seen in the Chaldean paraphrase. It is he in the underworld, as described by Wierus, a strong and powerful king who has 3 heads, a bull, a man, and a ram. So we keep getting that same thing. And so forth. He teaches astronomy, geometry, and arithmetic, the mechanical arts, and so forth. He is also called Chemadai and Sidonai. Asmodee was one of the demons that possessed Madeline Baventi. So, well, there we see a little bit of a different picture of Asmodeus, but that's the source material for what we see in the game. Different role, different powers, but you still get the impression that he's a powerful figure. So next up, we have Baalzebul. The sixth and seventh planes of hell, Malboge and Maladomini, respectively, are ruled by Baalzebul, Lord of the Flies, and in parentheses, Gygax puts lies. He is an archdevil of great power, second only to Asmodeus. So this one actually comes from the Bible. This is one of the few demons that are actually named by name in the Bible. First, we have 2 Kings, 1, which says, "Go inquire of Baalzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover from this sickness." That's the um, the king, I think, uh, trying to get a prophecy or something. It's also mentioned in Matthew book 10, where Jesus is saying, where is it here? Uh, uh, where he's meant. It's also mentioned in Matthew book 10, 25. If they have called the master of the house Baalzebul, how much more will they malign the master of this household? And again in Matthew 12, 25, knowing their thoughts. Yeah. Uh, is it, it is only by Baalzebul, the prince of demons, that this man casts out demons. This is the Pharisees saying that Jesus is casting out demons through demonic power. Um, and Jesus replies, "And if I cast out demons by Beelzebul, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore, they will be your judges." So they're kind of going back and forth on where Jesus's power to cast out demons comes from. Is it from the chief demon or not? And also from Luke 11, 15, where it's but where is this here? While others to test him Okay, so but some of them said he cast out demons by Beelzebul, the prince of demons, and so on. So they're basically recounting the same thing. For you say that I cast out demons by Beelzebul, and if I cast out demons by Beelzebul, by whom do your sons cast them out? So you get that same sort of thing. Once the once Christianity began to really develop, and a lot of the pagan gods from the Bible were turned into demons, we get a lot more in the of Baalzebul, who's also called Beelzebub, which I'm sure you've heard in a lot of different places. Um, which is another name for Satan. And according to the Dictionary of Angels, Beelzebub, also known as Beelzebub, Beelzebul, etc., god of flies. Originally a Syrian god, Beelzebub is in 2 Kings, yada yada. In the Kabbalah, he is chief of the 9 evil hierarchies of the world. Um, in Luke, he's the chief of the demons, prince of the devils, as in Matthew. But he is to be distinguished from Satan, just as he is in all magic, medieval or otherwise. Um, a popular title of Beelzebub was Lord of the Flies. Another of his titles is Lord of Chaos, as given in the Gnostic writings of Valentius. Dante identifies Beelzebub with Satan, but Milton in Paradise Lost ranks Beelzebub next to Satan in power and crime. Um, so there we go. Um, so again, we have a very famous literary occult figure in Baalzebul, and very much well known as a character. Again, you have that beautiful picture though that Tramp did of Baalzebul with the big fly eyes and so forth. It's just wonderful stuff. But yeah, you get more. It's funny to see you have all of these antecedents in the occult literature and in the Bible that really don't have a direct reflection on Baalzebul, but you can kind of see some reflections in there, which is always kind of neat. So next up, we have Dispater. Archdevil is Dispater is the ruler of Hell's second plane. His capital is the Iron City of Dis, named after the whole of the plane. Dispater's palace there is infernally grand. The city is filled with zombies, aranyes, and a sprinkling of barbed devils and malabranche. Now, this Dispater actually comes from Roman religion, Roman mythology. Dispater was a god of the underworld that was originally associated with more of a chthonic deity, associated with the riches that come from the ground and so forth. And later on, Dispater was conflated with another Roman underworld deity, Pluto, who of course was associated with the Greek god Hades. So you see this kind of progression, and then once they made that association of the two, then it become then Dispater kind of takes on his Hades other attributes about he's the son of this and so forth. But originally he was kind of this underworld riches kind of deity. Interesting to note also that Julius Caesar tells us that the Celts said that they were all descended from Dispater, which is interesting because the what he was really doing was something called interpretatio Romanitas, and basically interpreting things from the Roman lens. The what the Gauls were really saying, what the Celts were really saying, was that they were all descended from an underworld deity that Caesar was associating with Dispater. So I just thought that was an interesting thing too. So yeah, Dispater, Roman religion. We're covering a whole lot of bases with this. So next up, we have Geryon, which is an interesting case because originally it comes from Greek mythology, right? We've got Geryon in Greek mythology, a monster. Well, next up, we have Geryon, sometimes referred to as the wild beast. Geryon is the gigantic ruler of the fifth plane of hell. This archdevil is as powerful as a storm giant, and he loves to grab his opponents and rend them with his claws while stabbing them with his terrible poisonous tail. Geryon dwells in a huge castle in the very middle of the plane and seldom ventures forth. He's a very interesting case because he comes originally from Greek mythology, one of the 7 labors of Hercules, as a matter of fact. In Greek mythology, a monster with 3 heads and three bodies and powerful wings, dwelling in the island of he possessed a large herd of red cattle, guarded by Geryon, his shepherd, and the 2-headed dog Orthus to carry away these cattle was the 10th labor of Hercules. Sorry, 10 labors. Which he successfully performed after killing the shepherd, the dog, and Geryon himself. According to a later account, Chrysaor was a renowned king in Iberia, the father of 3 brave sons who were symbolized in the 3-headed Geryon. Now that's the original place for it. However, later on, Milton I'm sorry, not Milton, Dante in Dante's Inferno reinvented Geryon as the monster of fraud. He's got he looks more like we see him in the monster manual because he's got the wings and he's got the scorpion tail. He's got a human face. And he's sort of much more got that serpentine body and the powerful arms and so forth, much closer to the image. But Dante's version of Geryon really doesn't bear any resemblance to the Greek mythological Geryon. So it's an interesting case of I'm pretty sure Gygax brought Geryon into the pantheon because of Inferno, which was really cool. And just a reminder, way back in the day, Judges Guild actually did a product called Inferno, where they kind of mirrored Dante's Inferno, which is a very cool thing. So here we are. Those are the Archdevils from the original Monster Manual. If you all like this one, let me know in the comments, and I can do another video to follow up with all the Archdevils from Monster Manual 2, because there's quite a number of them in there as well. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed this video, and stay safe from Pinkertons.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.